Once upon a time, on a cold and snowy night, a long train of freight cars stopped in front of a mountain. The snow-capped peaks of the mountains loomed in the distance, their summits shrouded in mist. The wind howled through the trees, and the snow fell in thick, heavy flakes. The big engines were too tired to pull the train over the mountain.
"Oh no! I can't do it! The mountain is too steep!"
Just then, the little engine's whistle blew a long, piercing sound, announcing its arrival. The sound of the whistle echoed through the valley, and the animals all stopped to listen. The little engine came up to the train. He looked up at the mountain, its eyes wide with fear. It was a steep mountain, and the little engine was scared, but it knew that it had to do this. The animals were counting on it.
"I think I can. Yes. I will try my best. I will not give up so easily."
The other engines laughed at the little engine.
"You're too small. You'll never make it."
But the little engine didn't listen. The air was cold and damp, and the wind whistled through the trees. The little engine was scared. It had never pulled a train up a mountain before. But it knew it had to do this. The animals were counting on it. The little engine huffed and puffed, its small wheels churning the gravel beneath it. It started to pull the train of freight cars up the mountain. The train was very heavy, and the little engine was working hard. The sound of the wheels on the tracks was a rhythmic click-click. The screeching brakes made a high-pitched squeal. The little engine huffed and puffed, and the train slowly started to move up the mountain. The train moved through the tunnels, making a muffled echo. The train was very heavy, and the little engine was tired. But it kept going. It crossed bridges, making a loud clattering sound. The sound of its engine was a loud chug-chug, and the steam escaping from the engine hissed through the wind. The little engine kept going, one car at a time. It was slow going, but the little engine never gave up. The sound of the little engine's whistle was a constant reminder that it was determined to reach its destination. The little engine kept huffing and puffing, and the train kept moving up the mountain. The animals cheered and the birds sang. The little engine was doing it. But then, the train started to slow down. The little engine was struggling. It was tired, and it was starting to doubt itself. "I can't do it," the little engine thought. "The mountain is too steep." But then, the little engine remembered the animals. They were counting on it. They needed the little engine to get the train to the top of the mountain. "I can do it," the little engine said to itself. "I know I can." The little engine took a deep breath and started to chug and puff again. The train started to move forward, slowly but surely. The little engine took a deep breath and started to climb. The engine's whistle pierced the air, echoing off the mountainside. The little engine could hear the animals cheering from below, but they sounded far away. The mountain seemed to go on forever. The little engine was tired. Its wheels were starting to slip on the gravel. It wanted to give up, but it knew it couldn't. The animals were counting on it. The little engine kept going, one car at a time. It was slow going, but it never gave up. The air was getting thinner, and the mist was getting thicker. The little engine could barely see the track in front of it. The little engine kept going, one car at a time. It was slow going, but the little engine never gave up. The sound of the little engine's whistle was a constant reminder that it was determined to reach its destination. But then, the little engine saw something in the distance. It was the top of the mountain. The little engine gave a mighty huff and puff, and the train started to move faster. Finally, the little engine reached the top of the mountain. The animals cheered and the little engine smiled. It had done it. It had faced its fear and it had overcome it. The sound of the train's horn blast was triumphant, and the animals all cheered. The valley below was blanketed in snow, and the sun was just starting to rise. The little engine had done it. The little engine smiled. It had faced its fear and it had overcome it. It had learned that anything is possible if you believe in yourself and never give up. The other engines were amazed.
We never thought a little engine could do it. Yeah, I did it. I knew I could. I knew I could.
The little engine was proud of itself. It said, "I knew I could." The little engine story teaches us that anything is possible if we believe in ourselves and never give up. The little engine didn't let its size or the difficulty of the task stop it from achieving its goal. It kept going one step at a time until it reached the top of the mountain. We can all learn from the little engine's story. When we face challenges in our lives, we should never give up. We should believe in ourselves and keep going one step at a time. With determination and perseverance, we can achieve anything we set our minds to.